So today is a homemade meal. It's going to be a honey garlic tofu and chicken stir fry. So I'm just going to use half the box of tofu, firm tofu that is, and you just want to cube it up. And I can save the other half of the carton for later, but you want to divide the cubes up, put it in a bowl, and leave it out for later. You don't have to press out the moisture, you kind of want to keep it. Then you want to give it a little dash of pepper, give it a little shake, and then some salt. Salt to taste, about a pinch or two. You can use chicken. I use chicken. You can use shrimp. You can do any other vegetables. You can have more tofu, that is. But you want to have it cubed. Small bite-sized pieces are ideal. Again, salt and pepper. Now we're just going to add a little bit of cornstarch. I used about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch per protein. So you just want to get a little mix. Make sure everything is nice and coated. You want to do the same thing with tofu. You start out with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch first. Give it a little shake to make sure everything is nice and coated. The moisture will help create a slurry so that everything will be evenly coated. I'm just going to give 1 more tablespoon of cornstarch just to make sure everything is well coated. And I'm going to give it another shake. Now we set that to the side. I preheated my air fryer, so we're just going to spray it a little bit with palm oil and then just dump in our chicken. Make sure everything is separated so it can fry easily. Pop it in for a few minutes. Same thing with the tofu. I'm going in with 3 cloves of garlic and I'm just going to dice it really nice and fine. I have sriracha. You want to use about 1 tablespoon of sriracha, or you do more if you like spicy. Mushroom soy sauce, just 1 tablespoon, a couple splashes. And then sweet soy sauce, which just gives the color and a little bit of sweetness so you don't have to add too much honey. Here's the honey. I got it from Sam's Club, best deal of my entire life. You're going to use about 3 tablespoons of honey. Then just a small drizzle of sesame oil. And then about 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, and give it a nice whisk. All of these ingredients I have in my fridge, and I just use some of them to combine. Give it a little taste, and then adjust your seasoning. I also add a bit of oyster sauce, but you don't want to use too much of it because oyster sauce is quite salty. Give another mix, and it should be good to go. Now we're going to create a little bit of slurry. I have the water running in hot water, so you want to give about 2 tablespoons and then a little bit of water. Just make sure everything is nice and blended. Now we're going to do the rice. I have a rice cooker, but you have to rinse out your rice. If you want fluffy, beautiful white rice, you need to rinse it out as much as possible, at least 3 times. Let's do 1 more. There we go. Now you can see through the water crystal clear. I have a finger trick because I was born Asian and I've learned that throughout my years. But the trick is every cup of rice, you have 1 cup of water. So I forgot to record this bit, but what you do is you take a skillet, heat it up, and then you heat the sauce that you created, add 1 cup of water, and just a bit of slurry just to thicken the way you like it. You toss in your meat and your tofu, and then you shake it up. You let that simmer, and then we're going to add a little bit of sesame seeds just for garnish. This is optional as well. I have a little bit of green onions, or scallions if you would call it that way, and also garnish that. That also brings a lot of good flavors as well. For every ingredient that I use, it only costed me about $5.80 to make this 2-serving meal, which is great. And I used the MyFitnessPal app in order to track and scan every single item that I use for the recipe, and then I can adjust how many of those units that I use. It's great to keep track of everything and just copy and paste your recipe. So for this meal, I only had 1,211 calories, which is not bad, though the sodium is a little bit high because of the soy sauce. And it goes really in depth of the different calories and micronutrients, macronutrients that you have. The protein's about 32 grams, which is not bad, and it's pretty good for you. And you can even track all the different things that you eat that day and log it in. Let's go on to our next meal. Either pick this one or this one.